Alright everybody, hello and welcome to the very first episode of Replays with Revo. I'm SP Revolution 5, I'm going to be your host for the afternoon here, or evening I guess if you're in the EU time zone. Very happy to have you guys here, not quite as many people as I'd hoped, but gotta start somewhere, right? We're going to be taking a look at Arteezy's Naga Siren today. Now this is a hero who got nerfed heavily in 6.81 since she was pretty much first pick, first ban for a while there. But, saw it needed to nerf her, and we're going to take a look at those nerfs first, so let's switch on over here. I'm just going to be accompanying you along the way for a moment here. Naga Siren changes in 6.81. We got mirror image illusion damage dealt reduced from 30-35% to 20-25, 30-35. That's a pretty big reduction, a 10% reduction. While it didn't quite wipe Naga off the map, it meant that you really have to be able to last hit well to play her. You can't just rely on your illusions doing almost half your damage. They're down to a little more than a third of your damage. So, now keep in mind this doesn't affect Radiance. So Radiance Burn later on, it doesn't bother those at all. The Radiance damage is still full damage. Now Riptide AoE reduced from 350 to 320. This is, I would think, a direct nerf to mid-Naga. Riptide AoE was how Naga was securing all her last hits. It's how she was able to farm in lane and simultaneously harass. You take that away, or you lessen it at least, she can't easily mid-lane it as much. Not to mention her negative armor also doesn't go through magic immunity. That seems like a bug fix, honestly. But that hurts her jungling as well. The big change is the Riptide effect. Means it's not as easy to just harass out enemy heroes with a Riptide, because that AoE was enormous beforehand. So let's take a look at the draft now. I am going to be using Join Dota's VOD here. I'm not using sound though. All respect, of course, to Toby and Siren. I just couldn't get a hold of the draft because there was a remake shortly after the draft, and the only one on the ticket is the remade version of the game, if you guys understand where I'm coming from here. So I'm using a YouTube video instead, simply because that's the easiest way to do it. Let me make sure my quality is up. Yeah, it is. Okay. It looks a little pixely to me, but... So we're going to take a look here. Actually, I can fast forward to our first pick, which is the Treant Protector. Now let me grab my notebook here and also switch over so I can see your guys' chat. We do have Treant Protector as the first pickup for EG. They've banned out Sand King, Mirana, Wisp, Batrider. Those are just situational bans within the best of 4 or best of 5. I need to also mention this is ESL 1 qualifiers, the grand final between EG and Team Liquid. They've been through 3 games already. EG is up 2 games in the series. Liquid managed to pull out 1 game so far. But they're going to start off with the Treant Protector. Now, something I noticed in my research here, PPD has a 90% win rate on Treant. No, I didn't misspeak. That's 90%. It was 20-2, I believe, at the time of going into this game, if I remember what Siren said properly. So this is pretty much just we want to pick a good support. Let's grab a Treant. He's flexible. He fits in a lot of situations. It lets us get away with a greedy style too. And that is my first point with EG's draft. They like to draft greedy. They know how to play greedy. They know how to get away with it very, very well. And Treant is one of those things that can help you. You can run a mid that normally couldn't mid as well with a Treant because he's going to have that heal to back him up. You can run an offlaner who normally couldn't survive as well in the offlane, like a Weaver, with the Treant. That's what we saw almost a year ago now in the TI3 qualifiers from, well, what eventually became Sigma and was DD Dota at that point. Davai, if I'm remembering correctly. So PPD probably going to be picking up that Treant. Just a hero he plays really well. Liquid responds now with... One second. There we go. Shadow Demon Invoker as their next 2 picks. Now, normally when you're going against a tree, you want to be able to have some sort of burst damage to go through. And I know what you guys are saying, Revo, that's not burst damage. But alas, if you go Quas Exort Invoker, pick up the Shadow Demon with the Disruption, you're going to see those Sunstrikes become very easy to hit, at least in theory. because you can set up the Sunstrike perfectly with the disruption. Not to mention Soul Catcher amplifying that damage is a pretty much secured first blood, or so you would think at least. So EG, still reading into this draft, they want to pick up something that they're just going to be strong with and comfortable with. So they grab Universe's Darkseer, and still just a pretty tanky, pretty standard hero for them at this point. We're going to move on in the draft and take a look at the second phase of bans. Lycan, Luna, Morphling, and Outworld. There we go. So why does EG ban Lycan and Luna now? I think I have a good reason for their positioning of this ban. They're planning to pick up Naga Siren already. They already know that's what we want to have as our hard carry. That's our farming hero here. Now, we've seen counters to Naga Siren come up even in 6.80. A Brazilian game I cast, Jungle's King was playing someone, and the enemy team knew that Jungle's King likes to pick up the Naga Siren, so they leave it in the pool. They say, okay, go ahead, take your Naga, get your Radiance, we'll see how that works out for you. They go with the Lycan, the extreme aggression, and just death ball push into the towers. And as soon as Naga gets a Radiance, well, a Rax is down, guys. There's no point in even having a Radiance at that point. So they're banning out these hard pushers, people that can shut Naga down, that can interrupt her farm really easy and force her to rotate out of whatever lane she's in, be that mid or the safe lane. Now, Team Liquid, they're scared of Arteezy. That's all these two bans are. OD definitely being one of his signature heroes. Same with the Morphling quite a bit, although Mason plays a Morphling as well. But these are just, we don't want those crazy out-of-control heroes that once they come online are just ridiculously hard to stop. We know we can stop a Naga if we have to, but she doesn't snowball as hard as a Morphling or an OD will. Oh, I'm just going to fast forward some. Team Liquid's next pickup is a Doom. Now, they can tell EG want to go for some sort of team fight, especially with Universe and the Darkseer. He's a legendary Darkseer player. That's definitely his signature hero, by and large. So, having a Doom to silence him out, make it so he can't use any abilities, can't use any items, no mech for the team, assuming Darkseer is going to pick it up, no pipe popped, because he might pick that up as well, no wall in the middle of a team fight, no vacuum, no surge to even bail him out of the fight, or an ally out of the fight. It's a really big deal, picking up the Doom. And EG responds in what I would say is the strangest pick of their draft thus far. And this one really took some head scratching for me to figure out, but it's the Witch Doctor. Now, you might be saying, well, Revo, that's a pretty normal support. Now, you have to realize this is one of the first, I'd say in the first 20 games at least on 6.81, Witch Doctor hasn't really come into the metagame. Something Toby and Siren mentioned in the draft as well. When EG picks a Witch Doctor, he usually doesn't go for Maledict. He goes for a Paralyzing Cask heal build. One to push and really be aggressive early in the game. And then you have that Death Ward, of course, to just be a threat, a constant threat. And what's a perfect hero to combo up with Witch Doctor? Faceless Void. He's been a rising hero since Starlighter 9 finals, when Burning started picking him up. And EG know he's a popular hero. He's in the minds of these Liquid players. And they know if they pick up a Witch Doctor, that says, hey, we've got a Void ult to set that up. That's perfect. Not to mention Darkseer coming through as well. So Team Liquid probably looks at this and says, you know what? It's a great hero. If Void traps his team somewhere, they pick up the Queen of Pain. Now, Queen of Pain is also a really good hero against this team anyway. You've already got a Darkseer picked up to say you don't want to pick a lot of right-click heroes. You want to pick magic users because Darkseer can't take advantage of those with illusions. So Queen of Pain dodges that very nicely. Works against Treant. She can just burst down some living armor, high amounts of damage. Works against Witch Doctor very well because you can just blow him up if you get the right items online. So the Queen going to be reigning hopefully here until the next pickup comes out from EG, and this is the pivotal moment where Team Liquid surely realizes they made a terrible mistake as the Naga Siren is picked up for Arteezy under the name Allison here. Yeah, I have no comment on that. I don't know why he's being called Allison. But Naga Siren, gonna come out for him. This is one of his signature heroes. I'm gonna take a look back at Dat Dota just to give you guys some really accurate stats. If I can find Arteezy. Here we go. He's played 14 games as Naga Siren on record. Has a 78% win rate. That is huge. 78%. That's almost an 80% win rate. Meaning, if you play 5 games as Naga Siren as Arteezy, you're probably going to win 4 of them. At least 3 for sure, but maybe that 4th one as well. And that's just a huge impact on the hero. Definitely one of his signature heroes. Not quite as much as the Shadow Fiend, but a hero he plays very well. The next ban from Liquid, they're possibly saying, okay, they want to bait us. They want to make us think that's a mid hero. We're not going to fall for it. We're going to ban out Puck. There we go. Saying, yeah, Mason's playing that Naga, right? And EG are fine with this. They go ahead, ban out the Centaur, simply because they are scared of the combo. He would be the thing that ties this lineup together really nicely. Being able to land a 3-4-man stomp on the heroes, shut them down, lock them down. That Queen of Pain Sonic Wave comes in, Invoker EMP Tornado, doom one hero, disrupt another annoying hero, and then you're good to go. That would be terrifying, especially since it means that Invoker, Shadow Demon, they don't need those 4 staffs quite as early. They can do without it because you just have that Centaur charge to get you into the fight. Doom doesn't have to build a blink in that case, generally. He's a scary hero at this point in the game, and EG don't really have any BKB carriers either. Witch Doctor can if it goes late enough, but at that point you've generally already won the game. Naga Siren also won't build a BKB generally, because it's not going to do anything for the illusions, which is really the point of Naga Siren in the current metagame. So the final pickup from Team Liquid comes out, and this one I'm a little bit odd with, Timbersaw. Now, Timbersaw does not insta-give Treant Protector. I think it should work that way, but it doesn't. For good reason, because that would be incredibly overpowered. Other than this, it's kind of just a tanky hero to soak up some damage. They know that Naga's probably going to be going for that Radiance, because that's the style EG likes to play. They like to play greedy, get those big items online like I talked about in the very beginning. And Timbersaw, definitely going to do good with that. And also able to cut down Tree's strength, possibly cut down the armor of the Naga Siren as well with her illusions. She has a very high agi gain, so generally you want to get those illusions very squishy, very low armor, and taking away 25% of the agility on that hero would do quite a bit to help that. But the next pick coming out from EG is what really puts Liquid in a awkward spot as well. The Night Stalker. Now we see instantly Mason picks up this hero. And Liquid in the break, because there is a quick remake here, they surely realize, okay, it's going to be a safe lane Night Stalker. Naga's going mid. So how do you lane this as Team Liquid? Let me pull up the dummy map I have here. Let me make sure that went over. Yep. Okay, so we've got, let me remember the heroes correctly here. Timbersaw for the Radiant. We have a Queen of Pain for the Radiant. An Invoker for the Radiant. A Treant Protector for the Dire. A Night Stalker for the Dire as well. Where's Tree? There we go. Naga Siren for the Dire, of course. We have a Darkseer for the Dire. And Witch Doctor for the Dire. Sorry about this. I should have set this one up earlier. I'll do that in the future, guys. I'm also missing Doom from the Radiant and Shadow Demon. Doom. Shadow Demon. Okay. So, lane-wise, they're saying EG's putting a Naga mid. Now, that probably puts a tri-lane up here with Mason on your Night Stalker. You've got a Darkseer on the bot lane. With these 5 heroes, how do you lane this? Well, Invoker wants mid. Let's go ahead and put him there. He'll do alright up against Naga Siren. Queen of Pain also wants mid, but Quickfa's been playing their Queen of Pain. So it might just be an off-lane quap for him. However, where does that leave the rest of our heroes here? Like, what kind of tri-lane do you have set up where Shadow Demon can get an easy disruption? Probably the Darkseer. He will surge out away from that, so if you don't kill him with the Sunstrike, that's going to be rough. Doom can jungle at least, and Timbersaw can bot lane. But how is Queen of Pain going to do up against a Night Stalker with a silence? Let's switch the Queen of Pain with the Timbersaw. Timbersaw will at least be able to escape up there and get his levels, which is all he really needs. He doesn't need that farm as much. And then you can put Shadow Demon down here with Queen of Pain to help harass out the Darkseer, hopefully get him out of the lane and secure Queen of Pain some safe farm. Doom in the jungle to gank. And this is a nice, comfortable laning situation. However, Liquid do not feel comfortable going into that game, and that is the number one thing that EG definitely succeeded in their draft. They don't feel safe in terms of lanes, and that sets up for a great tri-lane, a great, almost pre-space created. It's like before the game has even started, EG said, you don't want to cross the river. This river is ours. You don't go over here. You don't come join us. You don't come fight us. We dictate the tempo of this game. We set the pace, and you follow us. So guys, in a moment, we're going to be right back with the replay. Actually, we'll just go straight into the replay. What am I talking about? I don't need a break. Let me go ahead and exit out of this and change us over to Dota. Wrong overlay. Alright, so we're in the game right now. Let me fix the volume. Go ahead, turn things back up. Things are turned back up. Really? Yep, okay, we're good. So I am going to be pausing the replay multiple times. We'll be fast forwarding through certain parts. We're watching from Arteezy's player perspective right now. I will break off to free camera from time to time, but not too often, because I really want to just analyze this from his player perspective. I'm actually going to go back just a few seconds here and grab a drink of water while we get started.
Naga, Siren.
Alright, so watching from Arteezy's player perspective, we need to notice how is he going to get farmed. This is a very greedy draft from both teams, but it's a greedy draft in terms of Team Liquid because they need a greedy early game. They need to get a lot of early game dominance, and they're afraid to. They're afraid of the Night Stalker. They're afraid of the Darkseer of Universe as well, I think. And EG, how can they make a start that's just going to make Liquid more afraid of them? Here we go. Into the game now. As the players load in, you notice Arteezy, he goes ahead, he has these items selected. He walks out of the base with 2 Iron Branches, 525 gold in the bank, and you're normally going to see a mid player have his tangos pulled. This is where he's just checking enemy heroes who's on what so he can try and predict lanes a bit. Now, they're going to go for a first blood attempt. They're going ahead smoking up. He has his tangos pulled on the way to first blood. Not before, but on the way there. Sooner or later. If I'm remembering correctly, I put that down in my notes. By the way, guys, I do have about 3 pages of notes for this game. Yep, there they are. So they're trying to find a first blood attempt. They're trying to go ahead and catch someone out. They're going to ward up the jungle just so they have vision down there. Trying to stop Doom from farming as well. And right now, Arteezy does narrowly spot out way too. Zai going to throw the stun. Arteezy quickly skills net. Now notice right here. We're actually going to go back about 10 seconds in slow motion. Not that slow though. Watch Arteezy's mouse here. Okay, he moves in there to the tree to actually hide a bit in case they come, but Way2's already in vision. Zai throws the stun. Arteezy levels up. And now he's going to throw out the net. Now, see where his mouse goes now. He's clicking right in front of Way2 because he wants to go ahead and attempt to body block him in case he somehow magically gets away from this. Same with PPD, but of course we're focusing on Arteezy for this replay. First blood going to go over to Universe. We'll go back to normal speed on the replay. Sorry about the extra slow-mo there. But that was something I noticed that he does that I've never really seen other players do. Of course, I don't watch from players' perspective that much. This is one thing I'm trying to do with this series to also improve my own play. And a disclaimer before we really get started here. I'm not a 6K MMR player, guys. I'm actually at around 2.5K solo. I'm stuck in the trench, whether you believe the trench is there or not. And I'm trying to get better, but I'm much better analyst than I am player. Just wanted to point that out before we really get things underway here. I'm not claiming that I am better than Arteezy or something. it's just a way for us to look into his play step by step. Anyways, the battle begins. So we see Arteezy. He's got his 2 pulled tangos. He's going to go over here and quickly get in range for a creep block. He didn't do a block from the beginning, but he managed to help secure first blood for the team. This is putting him 100 gold from a bottle right off the bat. And that's just a huge advantage to get started. And we'll talk about that bottle a little bit later. When he goes ahead, moves his camera. Keep in mind, I'm not moving the camera. That's Arteezy. He goes ahead right here. We're going to back up about 20 seconds, or 10 seconds here. Notice how he's already moving the camera so we can see across the river right now. He wants to be able to spot where the block is coming out from Bulba. If he can see where Bulba's block is, that's going to determine the positioning of the lane, how he needs to start off his laning stage, and how he needs to successfully pull the lane back in his favor so he can secure his last hit safely. He's a melee hero. He can't be on the low ground right over here. Will it not let me ping while it's paused? Okay. Or draw, but whatever. He wants to be right here on the low ground, or he doesn't, rather, so that an Invoker can't harass him from the high ground and then just sit back fine. He wants to be actually on his high ground so that he can sink back into the shadows as he last hits so that he doesn't take all that harass. However, you look at Bulba, he's got a much better block off here. He's actually well behind the tower when Arteezy's creeps are right here at the high ground. So, going to resume right now. Oh, there's my ping. A little late here. And he knows the block is not going to be that great. So he's letting the creeps push on up to the tower. He stops his block, lets that one creep get killed by the tower. Now, if you notice right here, we count the creeps. 1, 2, 3, 4, whoa, 4 radiant creeps. 1, 2, 3 dire creeps. He's already going to succeed in pushing his lane back. He's actually trying to spot out where Tree's going on way to, possibly again, but focusing on his lane. Now, all his creeps are dead. He's pushing on in here. This is going to help him get his lane back in control. There's a deny on the range creep from Invoker, but that's perfectly fine, because this will basically reset the lane to a neutral position, which is what you want to do. We'll go ahead and tango up there. Now, this is a block. Now, okay, this is confusing, guys, because we got red for dire, green for radiant. When I unpause and it goes back to Arteezy's player perspective, it switches colors, because he sees them as radiant creeps. I didn't notice this while I was playing, but this is a little confusing. Volvo, please fix, I guess. But anyways, we're just going to have to deal with it right now. But this is the perfect block position where you want to be. You want to have his range creep on the low ground, so it might have that missed chance. You want his hero on the low ground, so that theoretically, if you're a ranged hero, you can harass him out here. But he's always attacking up the hill into your creeps and has that missed chance as well. So he's got a high chance to miss last hits. You've got safe zone free from harass. In fact, a third of that harass is going to miss you, hopefully, due to the high ground evasion. It's going to let Arteezy hit last hit pretty effortlessly. Now notice he's already having his bottle fly out. Over the course of the game, before he gets his Radiance, spoiler alert, he gets a Radiance. Big surprise there. Let's pull up last hits as well here. He bottle crows 13 times. 13 times in about 14 minutes. We're already at 1 minute where the bottle is flying out to him right now. So he practically bottle crows every minute from this point on in order to sustain himself in this lane. He also has a Treant on his side. Like, I was thinking, well, why is he bottling so much? It isn't even necessary. It's so he can stay in lane and farm so much more. We're going to see that go up. He uses Riptide just to secure last hits, but he's bottle crowing to keep the mana cost of that low. Usually mid Naga Sirens, you won't see a point in net, but that was just for the first blood. And because of that, he might want to rotate around the map some, but we're not going to see him do that much. Now, unfortunately, Riptide will push the lane ever so slightly, so he's going to be forced up onto the opponent's high ground. But he's already threatened Bulba. He said, look, I'm a presence in this lane that you can't easily deal with. And I'm going to pull the creep aggro, I'm going to get it over here to me, and you're going to be in big trouble. So Bottle Crow number 1, going back to the base, it's going to come back in just a moment. He's got 9 and 2, 10 and 2 now, up against Invokers 3 and 1. Every time Bulba gets close, and he can, he throws out a Riptide. He's going ahead in here and saying, hey buddy, you're dropping low, you want to take some right clicks? Go ahead. Denying everything. He's got as many denies as Invoker has last hits at the moment. And notice how, we're watching Arteezy's camera, he almost never takes his camera off the lane for more than a second. He just checks the courier real quick, snaps right back to the hero, continues last hitting. It's a snap focus that is almost unparalleled. He actually goes in a bit here on Bulba, but he's going to back off. There's a disruption in here. No Sunstrike comes in from Bulba, though. I believe that was a slight misplay on Bulba's part. In the meantime, though, he continues microing the courier even as he's walking away. At this point, he's buying a Quelling Blade. So he gets a Quelling Blade about 2.5 minutes in, just to help him last hit more, as if he's really having trouble at this point. It's about 3 minutes into the game. In terms of just last hits, he's getting at least 5 a minute, if not more. And then 3 denies. So 5 last hits, 1 deny per minute. That's quite a decent last hit rate. It's not perfect, of course, but it's really good. Now, we go back into the stuff. He briefly checks up there when the kill happens, but I mean, that's just human nature. Like, a kill happens, you're gonna go check. Now, he does start skilling Mirror Image here. It's a Mirror Image Riptide focused build because it wants to split push in the mid game. He's gonna go ahead and bottle and just goes ahead and calls that courier back as well. But now that he's got this Quelling Blade, his last hitting will actually increase even more. I know it's a shock, but Queen of Pain, meanwhile, taking down Witch Doctor, but no big deal there. Arteezy just going to check it again. I'm going to fast forward through a little bit of this last hitting. He briefly checks up top. And where is that moment coming up? Now, he does guess correctly on the rune. The bottle gets returned to him, and he's going to go ahead and find this haste. But he's going to go ahead and say, okay, let's use this bottle pretty effectively. Oh, why am I at half speed? Sorry about that. Oh, wait, that's a different rune. I'm sorry. Well, he does that later. Gonna go ahead and use the haste rune, though. He wants to make a dive on Bulba here if he can, but he is just going to harass out that Forge Spirit with Riptide. That is, in his mind, probably an extra last hit that he could grab. He's going to actually rotate down at this point. This is one of the few times he leaves the lane before he gets his Radiance. Koikova chasing down Universe, and Universe is going to get disrupted there, but Arteezy focusing on the fight. He's got a bloodthirst here that he's just going to chase down Koikova and kill him. Now, he does get blinked away from. Koikova manages to take down Universe in the end there. But you see Arteezy, he's going to rotate around, just check the rune, try to see if anything's going on, get his bottle in a safe position for it to be bottle crowed back to base again. This is about the 5th bottle crow, if I'm counting correctly again. Meanwhile, TC moves down. This is not even him leaving the lane. This is the lane coming to him and saying, here, have a gank. Go ahead. And this is the way he gets another bit of gold advantage and a kill on TC. This is just a bit of an awkward engagement where TC tries to Timber Chain away but doesn't quite have the gold. The Quelling Blade also helps out here as well because it's helping them get to TC, and now he'll be spotted out. And Riptide will get Arteezy the kill here. And that's just another bit of progress on his relic. Now, take a look at gold. We've got 1,100 gold up here for Arteezy. He's already got a Quelling Blade and Boots of Speed. Very good farm on him. 26 and 4 up against Invokers 22 and 6. In the last minute or two, Invoker has been in the lane while Arteezy moved away in order to help out other lanes, get that kill on Timbersaw. But it's paid off for him at least once. Maybe not the first time, but the second time for sure. And that helps him out in terms of just securing his farm. In terms of net worth, he is 400 gold ahead of Invoker. Now, what's Invoker got in terms of items? Let's take a look at Bulba's viewpoint here. Or Bulba's viewpoint. Okay. He's going for a Midas. And I'm not 100% sure about this because I haven't looked that closely at where Arteezy is on the map. But he probably knows that Bulba wants to go for a Midas, which is actually good for EG. Even an Invoker with Midas cannot outcarry a Naga Siren. This team, with all the Midases in the world, isn't going to be able to get online faster than an equally skilled Naga Siren. Just because of sheer carry potential and the way the heroes work. Now, Bulba is getting more right-click damage. He's now up to, like, actually an even 100 right-click damage. And that's going to help him out getting his last hits much more securely. Going to increase his farm from here on out. Not to mention the Glove of Haste to increasing his attack speed a little bit, which is one thing that a Quas Exhort Invoker will lack. Shifting back to Arteezy, though. He does get harassed out by a Force Spirit. Nice Riptide there. And he just starts using the mirror images to last hit. He knows he can Bottle Crow. He knows he is Bottle Crowing. He's going to use all the mana he can in order to get that out. Actually, meanwhile, Witch Doctor gets picked off by that Sunstrike burst damage combo. And that's the thing I was talking about in the draft. Treant can't just heal you up for that if you're already dead. Burst damage against a tree. But that's another just strong point of EG's draft. And Liquid's draft at the same time. Now, watch Arteezy here. He's actually going to move in a little bit on Bulba. He reduces his armor for a bit. Now, that is a pretty low duration, 8 seconds. So, now it's worn off, as it hits 2 seconds cooldown, it has. And, we're going to see him back up a little bit and attempt to Bottle Crow here. Now, if you notice, just a moment, we've got PPD waiting in the trees, ready to strike when Arteezy comes in again. Let's shift back to the Canadian Arthur Babev, this sad boy as we know him. Now he catches out Bulba with the net. There's a Leech Seed coming in. What they don't expect is the Shadow Demon coming in as well. He's trying to find him. Queen of Pain comes in with the ulti, Scream of Pain, and then Arteezy bails. He's like, okay, we are done. This fight is over. I cannot die right now. He's got 1,600 gold. That puts him like almost halfway to his Radiance. I'd say about 1,900. Well, actually 1,900 is halfway. So you really want to keep yourself alive till you get that Radiance. Otherwise, a death really sets you back. But he's just going to use the song, the anti-fun song, bailing out of the fight. Not going to die here. He's got his courier headed back to base to Bottle Crow for him once again. And he goes ahead, activates the speed boost for that last little bit back, and instantly turns it around, brings it back to him. Now, we fast forward a little more. We're going to see continues to Bottle Crow, continues to farm up, healing with Tree and Armor as well. And now he moves into the jungling phase. When he starts jungling, he just goes from this camp to this camp and sometimes to the small camp. But he's focusing on the medium camp, excuse me now. The medium camp and the hard camp at the same time. Going ahead and doing the medium camp because he doesn't exactly have the HP to stand up to the hard camp just yet. Wants to make sure he can continue Bottle Crowing and stay alive at a reasonable level in case somebody jumps on him into the jungle. So now, keeps an eye on his lane as well. Keeping an eye on the other lanes, because he's just AFK farming in the jungle at this point. This is the part that we're really going to fast forward through, because let's be honest, it's boring. Continue Bottle Crowing. He's going to pop his illusions, Riptide that just creeps up, and pound on him, pretty much. Now, another thing about this carry with the Quelling Blade. It applies to illusions, if I'm not mistaken. Cannot carry more than one, of course. And, those illusions are therefore going to get more easier last hits and whatnot. Riptide comes through. Now, in the meantime, 10 minutes into the game, Bulba just picked up his Midas. And look at Arteezy's amount of farm here. He's actually on slightly higher net worth than the Invoker, but only by a little bit. Simply because he's not upgrading any of his items yet. We take a look at Bulba once again. We're going to see that he's got a TP Scroll, a Null Talisman, a Ring of Basilius, Brown Boots, and a Midas. That's a lot of items, but Arteezy has 2.7k in the bank. Now notice what's really missing from Arteezy's inventory as a mid at this point in the game. He has no TP Scroll. He's not the pub mid of, oh my god, mid no gank, GG, report noob. No. Mid didn't gank because mid was what the space was being created for. Mid is supposed to sit back and farm while the rest of the lanes are aggressive. You look at how many times Mason has been the focus of Arteezy's camera. He's got the kills for the team right now. He has the money in the bank. Arteezy has the farm, though, to make up for it. He's got a 12 last hit difference, 8 deny difference, but they're denying up against a Timbersaw, which is much easier as well. So Arteezy looking for that early relic. He's 1,100 gold away right here at the 10-minute mark. And only getting faster at this point. Does get cold snapped briefly here. Now, he fakes Song. Now, Demon comes in as well at this point. Now he's going to pop Song after Mirror Image just to confuse them for a moment. And then just walk away. But notice how he doesn't go back to base. He doesn't TP out. He doesn't just pop the Song and TP away. He pops the Song and goes to farm. Because this guy has not got the time to walk all the way back to base. He's got a courier that can do that for him. He sees Queen of Pain go for the Illusion Rune and just says, that's fine, back off. I've got the courier handing me bottle over and over and over. If you get an Illusion Rune, that's not the end of my world. Now, Queen of Pain will blink away from that. Shadow Demon actually gets a kill on Trina in the meantime. 11 minutes, we're up to 3,000 gold. Courier still bottle crowing away. And I did want to point this out as well. Just how quickly he denies this tower. We're going to go down to half speed for this. So, pops Mirror Image. It's a little too early. Okay. Now, the tower is at 107 HP right now. Cask is bouncing. Meanwhile, Arteezy, he waits for Invoker's last hit and then says, okay, just going to turn, right-click that, and get the kill. Just a methodical calculation of, this is right when I have to deny. And that's just an excellent play by him. I mean, there's not much analysis on my part done right there.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Continuing to farm up. The team's fighting elsewhere, but Arteezy is now 300 gold from the relic at 12 minutes in.
Dire's bottom tower, Radiant's middle tower.
He's got an Invis Rune just to relieve the courier from the bottle carrying for a moment. Gonna go back up to the medium camp. Checks his illusions before he Riptides just to make sure he'll get some damage off. You want to get all your value for your mana as Naga Siren. You want to make sure you're going to be able to, hold on. Not only use Mirror Image, but also use Riptide at the same time. Getting Riptide off on multiple targets and helping your team out that way. He hasn't spread his illusions out across the map just yet, but in this mid lane, he's able to harass out Bulba with it as well, forcing Bulba to use some sort of regen or switch to Quas for a moment at least.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
More AFK jungle TZ for the moment, though.
Radiant's bottom tower.
I know, so interesting, so exciting. 10 out of 10 would watch. Now, there is something messed up with the quick buy here. He does have enough gold for the relic at this point. But he continues bottle crowing. He wants to make sure he's going to have a good bit of gold for this Radiance recipe as well before he stops farming. A lot of players will sit back and say, okay, well, I've got the big item. Let's go fight. No, you can't take a fight yet. You still have no items up. You need to finish your item before you're going to be able to farm. Otherwise, it's not that much of a timing attack. Now, Witch Doctor will take down the Timbersaw. Nice Trion ulti up there and whatnot.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
And now a haste rune picked up by Arteezy. Now, if we notice, what's on the courier? Sacred Relic. He just picked it up. This is the first point since the very beginning of the game where he's actually rotated into another lane. Now that he knows he's secured that relic, he has 700 gold in the bank. One kill gets him his Radiance. Not to mention he has Song to bail him out if he gets in trouble. So he literally knows he can die right now, or knows he can blow his ulti and live. So he's going to go fight. Gonna go try to find Queen of Pain down here. He sees Koikova TP's away. He's like, okay, well, can't get that one. let's just farm down here for a minute.
Radiant's
Again,
top
using
tower
those
is
Riptide
under
illusions in the
attack.
mid lane to go ahead and secure some extra last hits for him.
Radiant's top tower
And
has fallen.
there's your Radiance. 1455 Radiance. Mason's picked up a Midas at this point. This is kind of a catch-up Midas. Now that he knows that Arteezy has managed to create space for him, the farming role is kind of shifting. Arteezy's, in a way, done farming now. He's got his big item. He's going to farm naturally. Mason can now go hang out in the jungle and farm for a little bit to get his big items up. Now, let's take a look at the items on the other side of the river, though. Timbersaw has a point booster and some mana boots. That's cute, but it's not much. Queen of Pain, working on an Orchid, not really close. Doom with a Midas. But that was a 12-minute Midas, if I'm remembering correctly, and he definitely doesn't have anything else to make up for it. Invoker, meanwhile, he's getting towards the Necronomicon, if he wants it. He could also be going for Treads. I forget what he goes for here, but, And then Shadow Demon, playing that hard support role. I mean, he's got an urn, boots, and a ward at this point. And that ward is more net worth than the rest of his inventory at the moment, I think. So Arteezy has already farmed excellently here. We got 92 last hits up on him. He's finally solidified his money in terms of putting up this. Now realize, no camps have been stacked just yet. And he's still going to find his farm all over the map. He micros the illusions around, sends them to the camps in the enemy jungle. He's practically farming their jungle at this point. There's very few wards around the map because the Naga Siren is going to be able... There's actually no dire wards on the map because they know that Naga is going to be able to create space and get them vision with those scouting illusions. Because you lose a Naga illusion, you haven't lost anything. I mean, yeah, your split push is delayed for 30 seconds. We're actually going to see a fight break out up top here. And let me slow the game back down for a moment and rewind 10 seconds. It appears to not know which one's the real Naga, but the real Naga is up here. Universe gets doomed out. Now, Song is not available. There's not enough mana because she's been using it for the Riptide. Demon's going to try to TP out. There will be a mini stun in there from someone. But they're going to give Arteezy the kill once again. Now look at his gold. He got the Midas 2 minutes ago. And he's already got 1,200 in the bank. He's going for Boots of Travel now. I'm going to speed us up for a moment here. High speed Dota 2. Vroom vroom race car Naga. Meanwhile, Ownage Spree coming out for the rest of the team. There was one camp he did stack there. Just kind of Cousin Illusion was in position, but I don't think it was even necessary. Like, it's good, yeah, but... The thing is, if he had supports that were constantly stacking camps for him, he would have so much more farm. But at the same time, he wouldn't quite have the same amount of gold because they wouldn't be able to create as much space for him around the map. So, don't always flame your supports because they aren't fighting. Or they aren't stacking. Like, they can create space for you to just get more farm. There's farm to be found on this map. Arteezy has 1.5 times the last hits of Invoker / Queen of Pain have. And he still has not returned to base. Bottle crowed 13 times. No TP even bought at this point. Now, he does return to base for his Boots of Travel, finally. But, let me just say, it took a while. 18 minutes, no deaths, no base return, 124 last hits. Excellent sustain in lane, and that's also the power of the tree. I can't count out PPD's excellent support play here as well. Now Arteezy can really be a force around the map. He's got the Boots of Travel to go ahead and TP elsewhere on the map. Yes, he spent 2,000 gold extra on TPs right now, but he hasn't needed to spend any yet, which is going to save him tons of money on TPs in the end.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Excuse me.
Dire's
Need to get
bottom
another
tower
drink of
is
water
under
here.
attack. Dire's top tower is under attack.
Let's fast forward some more. Okay, 19 minutes in. He's got 1,000 in the bank. Smokes up with the team. Ready to go. Knows Queen of Pain just fired off a few spells up top. Ulti is up on her, though, as far as I know. And that's Queen of Pain's player perspective. Let's slip back to Arteezy. Korkova is going to TP out. Roof tries to drop the ulti, but doesn't quite do it. It's going to be a TP away from Korkova. Ulti from Tree is going to stop it, though. And a Riptide will secure the kill for Arteezy. That's the wrong button that made it slower. And now, they're just content to keep pushing up here. Arteezy doesn't even have illusions elsewhere across the map, but he's going to move to the bot lane. He knows they're at the top lane. These early boots of travel already paying off on him. And if I'm not mistaken, they had just come off cooldown when he moved along here. He does pull the creeps away with his illusions as well, so that his creeps are free to attack the tower, sends one to the jungle. Meanwhile, he just leaves the lane. He doesn't even have to be there to farm. He actually has a drum in quick buy. Actually completely buys it out right now. Did I miss that item pick up in my notes here? Oh, the other thing I wanted to point out, I skipped this in my notes. Arteezy's average gold per minute on Naga Siren is 707 gold per minute. That, if I can pull up a calculator right quick, I meant to calculate this up earlier. Oh, might want to turn on numlock, sorry. Whoa. Technical difficulties here, guys, bear with me. That's 11.7 gold per second. Okay? That's a lot of money. Like, at this rate, he literally could build a rapier in about 10 minutes. Or less, probably. Much less, actually. Not 100% sure on the math on that. But that's how much farm this guy is getting. It is just raining money for him at this point. Currently, his gold rate is 510. We'll take a look again at the end of the game to see what his gold rate ends up being, because, spoiler alert, it's pretty extreme. Goes ahead, picks up the Blade of Alacrity, building into a Manta style. They catch Bulba trying to farm their jungle, but he does TP out to safety. So now Arteezy knows the map's safe. He knows Bulba just TP'd back. He's going to feel safe to go ahead and push on in. Microing the courier a bit as well. I'm going to send his illusions off to these camps to go ahead and farm themselves, using Riptide as well to clean those up. What is... Oh my goodness, the item bug is back, guys. Oh my goodness, it really is. There we go, I got it fixed. Song does come in after he instantly TPs and you're trying to find Korkova. Now, Korkova does have a blink. I don't exactly agree with this decision. They actually will get vision briefly with an illusion. But, it's going to end up not taking him down. Instead, that kill will go over to Universe. But, Arteezy definitely assisted there very nicely. Do have a Riptide out on these creeps as well. Meanwhile, Witch Doctor starting a fight up top. Night Stalker gets picked off. Looks like Witch Doctor will fall as well. But does that even matter at this point? Arteezy's able to make so much happen on the other side of the map. And look at what's on this courier. It's a Vlad's for PPD, a Yasha for Arteezy. I mean, hey, team can suicide all they want if it makes space for the carry. So, 1-for-1 trade up top. In the meantime. Except for I don't see Witch Doctor on the map. Never mind, I do. I keep thinking the Dire are going to be X's, but they're not. Korkova will come in here now. You have to watch kind of carefully. Arteezy's just like, you don't have the burst damage to kill me. Go ahead, use your ulti. Nope, no ulti. So, he goes to the base. Now here, he's safe, right? He's going to be able to regen. Nope. He never rests, guys. He moves right out of the base because of Sunstrike. Sunstrike was up. It was used pretty recently, actually. Let me actually go back and watch from Bulba's perspective where he might have placed that. Okay, Korkova TP's out now.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
4 seconds till it's going to be off cooldown. Oh, he used it on Universe mid. But Arteezy just being ever cautious and ready to evade that just in case. Now he goes back to the fountain to heal. This is, if I remember right, his second return to base at this point. To finally grab his Yasha, which was delivered to him bot, so he's not grabbing it, just kidding. And he just goes straight back to pushing, like he's not afraid of this team. Meanwhile, Liquid can't leave their side of the river without fear that Naga will just be there somewhere. I mean, literally, you have Corkfoot down here hiding in the woods from Arteezy. He just TPs straight away, not scared of Doom, not scared of anything. Darkseer was there to bail him out if he needed it. Just gonna go straight back top and say, okay, you want to defend bot? Well, I'm gonna go top. You want to defend top? I'm gonna go bot. You want to defend both somehow? I'm gonna go mid. You can't defend all three at once, can you? It's just a game of cat and mouse around the map with Naga Siren that eventually escalates into such a huge advantage. Naga is approaching the Manta style right now. We'll have it in about 100 gold. Yep, there we go. We got enough for the Manta style now. He just continues split pushing like he's everywhere across this map. He even split second sent the illusions in there. His team's doing Roche. They don't even need his armor reduction. He's creating space for his team after they created space for him. It's a symbiotic relationship between the two cores on this team. Meanwhile, fast forward a little more. Now we have a big team fight down here. No song even used. He's out of mana anyway. Volva will get taken down. I meant to put that down to 1x speed. But Arteezy, in the middle of getting kills, he's just like, okay, let's keep microing these illusions. Let's keep farming camps. Because that is the name of the game here. It's never stop farming. That's how he's gotten up to 671 gold per minute at the 26-minute mark. Like, he's earned 17,000 gold. The next highest earner is Universal and the Darkseer with 12,000. And then you go over to the Queen of Pain and the Invoker, which Invoker has a Midas. That's the only way he's staying in the running right now. Like, without that Midas, that Invoker is done. There's no net worth coming in for him right there. Still hasn't broken his average, though, just yet.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
But they're already pressuring Arax right here at 26 minutes. And Liquid is a team that needed a good early start. EG feels very comfortable right now. Now Doom will buy back, but the tower's already down, and EG is not scared. They have the song to bail them out if they need it. Arteezy's still microing his illusions in the jungle, and has a Manta available, I believe. Unless the cooldown is bugged or something. There we go. He pops it and leaves the real one walking away for the moment, but he's just going to go straight mid and try to just intercept the creeps here. Walks right under the tower, doesn't even care. Takes a couple hits. Yeah, whatever. Just straight up buys the Diffusal Blade. So they try to bait out a Diffusal Blade purchase because they have a Timbersaw, an Invoker, or a Queen of Pain. Not really going to do it. When you see a support Witch Doctor pick up a Mask of Madness, you know things are going pretty bad. And due to Arteezy's amazing split push ability, his obscene micro, and his incredible amounts of farm, they're going to take one more big team fight. Maybe one more after this, I want to say.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower has fought. Radiant's middle tower is under
Yep, here we go. Volva gets picked off. Demon about to get picked off as well.
Radiant's middle
Invoker forced to buy back into the game. Arteezy still never dying, 3,600 in the bank. Getting close to that second possible Radiance if he wanted it. Not that they stack or anything, but just the amount of gold he has is ridiculous here. Doom comes out on Naga, but what does that even do? It just stops Song for a moment. She can't TP away. She can still fight, though. There's a Vlad's up in the Darkseer. Queen of Pain ulti comes through, but it doesn't even do that much, and Demon just gonna say, congrats, man. It is over. They're gonna call it right now. And, we look at Arteezy's gold per minute. 802. It's 100 over his average. That is outstanding. I mean, the way he farmed in this game was just unparalleled, excellent play. And most of it was because of his early right-click last hits. Being able to last hit really well is what makes him such a good mid, and why he likes to play these farming mids, these, really greedy heroes, and why EG can get away with such a greedy draft sometimes. Alright, so that's going to be it for episode number 1 of Replays with Revo. I'm going to go ahead and close that out and give you guys a look at my beautiful face once again. Why, hello there. We will be doing this in the future. What I need from you guys is feedback. I need to know, what did you like about that? What did you absolutely hate about that? Was the analysis even helpful? Would it be more helpful if it was a team game or a team point of view? Would it be more helpful or split up in segments if I had someone doing it with me? I really want to make this work and make this something that people are really going to be into and helps you become a better Dota player, helps me become a better caster and Dota player, and just helps everybody else. So if you're on YouTube, which this will be uploaded to in a bit, for those of you on Twitch, leave a comment. You can find me on twitch.tv/SBRevolution5. I'm usually streaming. You can find me on Twitter at SBRevolution5 and on Facebook at SBRevolution5Dota. I'd love to hear your feedback, guys. Would really appreciate it. And yeah, so hope you guys have a great afternoon. For those of you on streams, I'll be streaming some pubs in a minute if you'd like to stick around. And yeah, just have a great day. Thank you for the feedback. Thanks for watching. And I'll see you guys next time.